A warm spring day in Florida. And a passenger jet takes off, bound for Atlanta, Georgia. 110 people are on board. Then, just minutes into the flight, the aircraft begins to swerve violently about the sky. Finally, it plummets into the Florida Everglades. Miami International Airport. May 11th, 1996. 11:30 a.m. 24-year-old Jay Smith is being dropped off by his good friend Scott Kleiman. Jay is on his way home to Montgomery, Alabama.
Don't forget to say hi to your parents, okay?
Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and his whole family are looking forward to seeing him, especially his mother Susan, who dotes on him.
He is a wonderful child. I could not have asked for a better son. He is perfect in every way.
Jay checks the board for his flight, ValueJet 592, due to leave at 1 o'clock. He's there in plenty of time because security is especially tight at the moment. Booked on the same flight as Jay Smith are Sue and Ron Carpenter. They got married just 3 days ago on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. Sue's brother, Mike, is delighted for them.
She was never happier in her life, and I don't think Ron was either. They had common interest, enjoyed being together. They were such a good match.
1:25 p.m. Flight attendant Mandy Summers welcomes the passengers aboard. Her bubbly personality has earned her the nickname Mrs. ValueJet. She's only had the job for a few months, but she's hoping for promotion soon.
She just knew it wasn't really where she wanted to be in her life. I guess she envisioned it as something more than it really was when she actually started.
At the gate, ramp agents load the DC-9's forward cargo hold with passenger baggage, 23 kilos of US mail, and some aircraft parts, 3 tires, and several cardboard boxes labeled COMAT, short for company material. In the cockpit this afternoon is Captain Kandalin Kubek.
All right, Richard, how about a before-start checklist?
She has 2,000 hours flying time on DC-9s. And within ValueJet, she's famous for her dedication to the job.
She couldn't get it out of her blood. She was destined to fly and just wasn't happy any other way.
Surprise!
The day before, Candy celebrated her 35th birthday. Her crew threw her a surprise party on board the plane at Dallas and wanted her to go line dancing. But typically, she refused.
She said they knew better, that I will never go out the night before a flight.
1:30 p.m. And the aircraft is 30 minutes behind schedule. There have been some minor mechanical problems. The jet's autopilot isn't working properly. A fuel gauge and cabin phone are out, and there's been a fault in the hydraulics backup circuit.
Fuel crash feeds?
Checking through the systems is First Officer Richard Hazen. 1:32 p.m. Opa-locka Airfield, 16 kilometers from Miami International. Daniel Mulhaupt and his friend Rick Delisle get ready for a pleasure flight in Daniel's Piper Arrow light aircraft. 1:41. Mechanics can't fix the autopilot before the flight, so the flight crew disengage it. The other faults are not serious, and the plane is ready to go.
Set pressure normal.
Captain Kubek and First Officer Hazen go through their final pre-flight checks, preparing for takeoff. 1:44 p.m. After 44 minutes delay, ground control finally clears Flight 592, call sign Critter, for takeoff.
592, you're clear to Atlanta by the Miami 7.
2:03. 63 minutes after the scheduled departure time, the DC-9 begins to accelerate down the runway. And Captain Kubek gently eases its nose upwards. At last, Flight 592 is on its way.
For now, we ask that you just sit back, relax.
Lead flight attendant Jennifer Stearns makes the customary reassuring announcement to passengers. Captain Kubek puts the plane into a climb, heading for its cruising altitude of 10,500 meters. Jay Smith and his fellow passengers sit back, relax, and prepare for the 92-minute flight to Atlanta. But at 2:10 p.m., just minutes after takeoff, people start to smell smoke. Flight attendant Mandy Summers attempts to reassure the passengers. But the temperature is rising and the smoke is getting thicker by the second. ValueJet Flight 592, with the carpenters Jay Smith and 107 other passengers and crew aboard, is in serious trouble. By 2:11 p.m., the situation is getting worse on board the DC-9 bound for Atlanta. Smoke is rising from the cabin floor, and it's getting thicker. At the same time, there's a problem in the cockpit. The pilots hear a loud bang on their headphones.
What was that?
I don't know.
They know there's a problem with the plane's electrics because the battery charger has activated, trying to restore power.
We're losing everything.
Then smoke starts to seep into the cockpit.
Critter 592, we need a meter return to Miami International.
Turn left, heading 270.
Descend and maintain 7,000.
What kind of problem do you have?
It's clear something is badly wrong.
There's smoke in the cabin.
3 kilometers away, Daniel Mulhaupt is at the controls of his light aircraft. He sees a large jet making a turn.
We're flying along, and around my 10 o'clock position, I saw an aircraft maneuvering along the canal.
2:11 and 30 seconds. On board the DC-9, Kubek struggles with the aircraft. It seems as if the controls are no longer responding normally. In the cabin, the temperature is rising. Flight attendant Jennifer Stearns bursts into the cockpit. She's desperate to know why the pilots have not lowered the passengers' oxygen masks.
We need oxygen. We can't get oxygen back there.
Jen, we can't do it. Can't take the mask.
The pilots refuse. They realize they're not going to make it back to Miami and desperately ask for the nearest airport instead.
We need vectors to an immediate.
And Critter 592,
2:13 p.m. On the canal below, Chris Osceola is out fishing with his uncle Sam Nelson when he sees the DC-9.
Hey Sam, look at this plane.
The aircraft swoops just a few hundred meters over the two fishermen.
I don't see flames, I don't see smoke, the landing gear's up. He's doing some odd maneuvers out here.
2:13 and 34 seconds. On board the stricken plane, the passengers and crew have passed out. 2:13 and 42 seconds. Just 9 minutes and 27 seconds after takeoff. Flight 592 crashes into the Florida Everglades.